I feel software entrepreneurs spend too much time behind PCs and laptops. Truthfully, most of the breakthroughs, the major milestones we had, were not necessarily because of our superior engineering, but because of the people we met and the impact we made. My advice is people should get out there, conferences, meet people. The answer to your problem might be in someone else's head, and one phone call could change your business. Let them know that you have something that they could use, or let them know how you can help them, or tell your story. And by telling your story, they can identify how they can help you.
I realized that I had a large enough network that I'm always like a couple of degrees of separation from anyone I want to reach. In this case, it was just 1 degree of separation. I got an intro, more than it was a referral. It was like, this is my very good friend. He's got a proposition that can help. And it was a referral to someone who could make a decision.
The Professor Samuel Kinge, who supervised my work when I was a student, and I'm still working with him now, and he is the vice president of the Cameroonian Cardiology Society. So the Cameroonian Cardiology Society sometimes invite me to present the project during a medical congress. So this is how I got in contact with the doctors that are using our product now.
Tigo Spain was reaching out to the millions of people who would roll onto their Tigo Cash platform. So what we did was we scheduled a meeting after our first interaction, and we did a full pitch presentation. We presented our software. And I think what we did strategically was to highlight how the software, even at that point, could solve some of Tigo's pain.
Now, purchasing an airplane ticket, which in the US was 2 clicks, there was a multi-step, multiple journey thing. And I felt, this doesn't make any sense. Why do I need to book it online, then go to a bank, get in line at a bank, to then make a payment, which isn't immediate, and then I gotta now wait for an alert from a company to say, it's all done. Like, there's a simpler way. Why aren't they doing it the simpler way? When it's not your core operation or your core business, it's best for you to outsource it, because then you get bifurcated and people don't like doing that. So even in the US. So I felt, okay, the issue here is there needs to be someone to give these folks a turnkey solution to this problem.
We discovered that when we put the device on the ground, that it was a very, very big difference between the level in computer science of the cardiologist, of the doctors, and of the nurse. Before going to the university, I made my primary school and my high school in a village, so I know how it can be difficult. And this is the principal problem in Africa, because when you enter in a hospital, many persons does not know how to use a PC. I think it is easily sometimes to provide a device that have the software and the hardware. And the software that we developed for the first station was with very few applications. So the same application that is used by the cardiologist was the application that was used by the doctors, and it was the same application that was used for a nurse.
We could populate the SMS system with predetermined questions and answers. So if you sent, what do I do when I lose my PIN? The system learns an answer to your question and sends it to you. And to Tigo, this was one of the major pain that they had, because they had people bombarding their offices with almost the same question. And if they could have a template where they would just send you answers to the questions that you asked, that will cut down their time by 70%. And so when people ask questions about your opening hours, about their PIN, about installation, the system will automatically send them answers. And if the end customer is not satisfied with that answer, then the SMS system transfers them to someone who can give them a customized answer. So we told Tigo, we know you have this problem, and this is how we can help you solve it. So if you can just give us answers to certain questions that you get asked a lot, we would match the answers to the questions.
I arranged a meeting with the airline in question, and I asked them, I mean, this is not normal. There's a telephone explosion, there's so many telcos. Why aren't you just making this available to people on the phone? What if I did all this for you on my platform? Would you subscribe to it? Yeah, they say, yeah, if it was free. And I'm like, okay. But then I would take a cut of every transaction. And I said, okay. And then we negotiate the cut. So in that meeting, basically, we identified what the problem was. We identified what the solution was. We identified that they were willing to pay for it after we negotiated.
We made 3 different software. A software that is used for the cardiologist, so he can perform a heart. He can analyze the data which come from the village and produce his diagnosis. And a software which is very, very useful to you, very, very easy to use, with big buttons, something like this, for the nurse. We got some good feedback from the doctors, because when you are in a village hospital, you have the nurse, you have the doctors, and who supervise the work of the nurse, and then in the city you have the cardiologist. So sometimes the doctor of the village can perform the health examination on the patient, but often he will tell the nurse to perform that.
So we actually tweaked a lot to fit into their schedule, which was fine, because in the end for us we also got something back. I understand it's very risky to trust a startup, but I don't think they had too many options, and we gave them a very good deal. It was for free. We would do all the engineering, all the hard things that your employees probably will run away from. So in entrepreneurship, it's win-win. You ask yourself, what can I gain? Maybe not in the interim, but in the medium to long term. Is this a relationship that will benefit me? And for us, the answer was yes.
So problem, solution, business model, all in one. But the question is, how many other people care enough to pay for it? So that becomes, okay, how many airlines are there? And then if the airline business can't do it themselves, and you would think they'd be able to afford it, how many other sectors can't do it themselves?